Hi there, beach friends. Before we dive into the video, I just want to say that my heart is still absolutely broken for all my friends and neighbors that live here in Southwest Florida. It seems trite to want to go out and enjoy yourself, but the fact of the matter is life does go on. So we are still rebuilding up in the Fort Myers, Sanibel area, and I decided to go down to the Marco 10,000 Island area so I could go out, support a few of my shelling community friends, and visit Keis Island. And we are going to see what Keis looks like after Hurricane Ian came by. So most of the tours, you are going to be starting early in the morning, and we did start quite early. It actually was a lovely morning, almost magical. Like, it was really, really pink. So it was nice to be out on the water. It was nice to, look forward to getting on to Keis Island and seeing what kind of goodies are there. I know the color looks a little weird because of the way that the morning was in the light. It was really, really beautiful. The tide will be going out, but who cares? I mean, look at this place. I've seen a couple other videos of people that have come to Keis, and we are going to walk around, explore, and see what kind of goodies we are going to find on our adventure. So if you're ready to see what Keis has in store for us, let's go to the beach. So I've gotten off the boat, and I mean, it's really overwhelming. There's just shells everywhere. I decided, all right, we'll start somewhere. Here's a little Florida fighting conch and a banded tulip. So there's some pretty okay shells, but like I said, it was really overwhelming. Ooh. Yeah, that's kind of a special shell. So that's an alphabet cone. It's in fantastic shape. Me and a bunch of other people on the tour mentioned that we got alphabet cones as soon as she got off the boat, which was kind of fun. And a lot of people were talking about the pen shells. I had heard that there were mountains of pen shells, and they were not wrong. And it happens with the storms. It's going to be one particular species. Like the last kind of storm, it was scallops. I guess this time it's pen shells, but it was really, really amazing to see that many shells. And this is another one of those Florida fighting conchs. I have quite a weakness for those, so I'm probably going to end up picking up a couple. And it really is pretty. A beautiful morning, the clouds, and Keis always looks like this. For anyone who hasn't seen any of my other videos, Keis always has looked like this, other than the mountains of shells. That's the only difference, but Keis has always kind of looked a little bit more like some of the island, the trees and things are dead, and it's just always kind of looked like that. I welcome you to watch some of my past videos. So we are going to see what other kind of goodies. The beach is going to change as we walk. You're going to find different things. Here's a little horse conch. So I don't see any pen shells anymore. Now we're kind of moved on a little bit. Here is a little Florida horse conch. The larger horse conchs are always really desirable to find. I've only found one myself, so just gonna be content with those smaller horse conchs. And this is a really nice, colorful moon snail. Real pretty. These are also called gaudy nauticas. And I do typically find those shells here on Keis, so not surprised to see that. In some real good condition, though. There is the Texas state shell, the lightning whelk, and a couple bonus shells in there. Yep. A lovely lightning whelk. And here we have an apple murex. Now, a lot of these shells had the dead animals in them, so I really had to be careful. And the smell was not good. It was really not good, but that really wasn't as awful as the actual no-see-ums. They are messengers from Satan himself. They are awful. But let's talk about this apple murex. I did see the operculum, so I thought maybe the critter could have survived. I don't really know. So I'm not going to take it. I'm not convinced it's, I don't know. So I'm going to leave it in the water. Hopefully it'll survive. And in the meantime, I found this lovely lettered olive. So while I'm here, I figured, hey, let me poke around. Let me see if there's anything else here. A little, all right, a little jasper cone. See if there's anything else kind of, so like again, since we're here, kind of drop one off, pick another one up. Oh, there we go. We have a banded tulip. But before we look at that, there is another little jasper cone. Cool. Once we've rinsed out that banded tulip, viable, lovely. Another fun shell to collect. Woohoo! So Kais does not normally look like this. This was just a mountain of shells, and you could have dug through them. You could have just plunked yourself down and probably spent quite a long time. But I tend to move about. I tend to move. So it looks like I was just trying to look at something other than those fighting conchs because there were just so many of them, which was great. Not all of them though died naturally. There were, you can see their poor little bodies in the shells. It was awful, but that's what happens. That's what happens. And I was wondering with the pen shells if there was just a big colony or something off the island, and so that got all, tossed about when the storm came. There's another nice sized lightning whelk. Probably hold on to that. And yep. All right. Another banded tulip that doesn't have a body in it, so we'll take that. Hey, lace murex. Very, very nice. That is another one of the shells that I do tend to find here, the lace murex and the gaudy nauticas. So no surprise here, we have a couple of those really nice lace murex shells. Yay. And what do we got next? All right, next we have a hinged. So if the shell is still connected to both sides and it's a bivalve, we call it hinged. That was a Sunray Venus clam. Lots of common stuff, which, typically you will have, considering it's common and all. Here we have a prickly cockle. I love that beautiful bright color on the inside. A Florida prickly cockle. Oh, another banded tulip. Why, sure. And that's another funny thing, like they're all over the place in Kais, a little bit harder to find in the Sanibel, Fort Myers area. Here is a moon snail. This is known as a shark eye. It is, for the most part, it's most of the shell. I'm not going to collect that. And, oh dear. So here's a banded tulip, and see the operculum there, that brown piece that's kind of in the opening. So that's a little trap door. This critter could be alive. I do not know. It's hard to say. So I'm going to drop this critter off just in case. And then while I'm here, do a quick look. Yeah, it didn't look like there's anything interesting. Back to the shell pile. All right, we have another lace murex. Wonderful. So the lace and the apple, they look kind of similar. They're like cousins. Wow. All right, so that super orange fighting conch. Yep, there is no way I was leaving that behind. That's an awesome, awesome fighting conch. You see a little cone. So this is a Florida cone. A fun, happy little shell, if I do say so myself. And a lightning whelk. Yeah, you can kind of see the bugs. Bugs had lots of dead bodies to eat. There were a lot of, like I said, there were a lot of dead mollusks, and it happens after a storm. Look at this pretty shell. So if you find a fighting conch with purple on the inside, that's very collectible. So the outside, it looks pretty, but the inside, that purple, that's really kind of special. And I'm not gonna be able to take too much garbage because the garbage that I take, I do tend to carry with me. So whatever I can kind of carry, I'm going to pick up. Not that boat is, there's nothing I can do about that, but anything that I can carry off the island, I will be taking with me. So somebody's boat ended up here. Probably going to be here for a little while. There is still a lot of cleanup after the hurricane going on. And another lightning whelk. Yay. All right. Banded tulip, and I do, when you turn it over on the reverse, I'm like, oh, please be empty, because sometimes the animal was in there and they just kind of melt. I don't know how else to describe it. They just kind of get melt. It's like they just turned to liquid. It was really quite unfortunate. But a lot of the shells were collectible like this. Well, actually, they were collectible anyway with the melted bodies in them. I wouldn't collect them. The smell, oh my gosh, the smell. So here is another Gaudy Nautica, one of those colorful moon snails. We'll just leave that one. We're just going to hold on to that real pretty Apple Murex that only smells marginally bad. And here is another lightning whelk. Gorgeous color on that. And as those shells grow, they tend to lose the color. So the juvenile ones, the smaller ones, are really going to have those nice dark coloring. And the fighting conchs, they just have so many different patterns to them. And so that's one of the things, especially if there's a lot of them, you're going to hear me kind of go on and on about them because I just really, really enjoy collecting them and looking at the differences of them. The juvenile, so that's even smaller. They've got really cool zigzags. Sometimes they have like white crosses on them. Sometimes they're solid. So I just really appreciate and enjoy those fighting conch. Look at those zigzags. Really cool. So yeah, probably gonna go ahead and take some of those fighting conchs. That is another lace murex. A terrific little find. And another, wow, that's actually a pretty big one. So that is another banded tulip. Nice size banded tulip. Did I spy something else? Yes. A lettered olive. And I rub my thumb on it. I'm giving it the shine test. Seeing, because you can feel the shell. If it's shiny, you can actually feel it. Wow. How cool is that? So the little spikes on that even have the pattern on it. Really cool fighting conch. And this one too. So it's got a little bit of like bark in there. There was all sorts of, wood debris and whatnot from the trees. So it wasn't like it was from a home. But so rinse that out. Real pretty fighting conch. I want a giant Atlantic cockle. Call them beach bowls. Those are pretty terrific too. So they are also here representing down on Kais, along with the bay scallop. Very lovely bay scallop. Yep. Very nice. And a little garbage there in the background. I'm not going to be able to collect that, but I don't have to worry too much. The people that I'm with, so Carlos from Nautical Life Shelling found this garbage can and he's going to fill it. So he's just going to kind of go, he took that from the beach and any other garbage that he can find, the bigger stuff, he's putting it in there and he's bringing it to the mainland. So big thumbs up for Nautical Life Shelling and SWF Shell Guide because I am out with both of them. So big thumbs up to those fine human beings for bringing us somewhere where we can find all these beautiful shells and helping keep these islands as pristine as they can be. It's going to take a little while. Wow! Okay, so that first is a lace murex, and then we have a hinged spiny jewel box. Always fun to find the hinged shells, especially the spiny jewel boxes. Now, what is this? Okay, nope, nothing. It's banded tulip. We got plenty of really nice ones. We don't need to collect that one. Check this out. Wow. So that's a parwelk with really terrific coloring. So that and the lightning whelk kind of have that dark coloring, but the parwelk is going to open on the right, where the lightning whelk is going to be on the left. So I'm just showing you the boat. I haven't made it all that far. The boat was just kind of up the beach, and we're back in a pen shell territory again. So it's just interesting the way that the beach just continues to change, the different variety of shells that are appearing and kind of disappearing as we walk up the beach. And then that is an operculum. So that is an operculum from a lightning whelk. And you can tell because of the way the shells open. The lightning whelks open on the left. That is the operculum from a shell that opens on the left. So we know that that is from pretty good sized lightning whelk. And this is just kind of giving you a view. I'm telling you, it was overwhelming. You didn't know where to go. You could start at the water. You could walk all the way up to the trees on the left. I can only imagine what this place must have looked like after the storm. Now, at this point, it's been almost a full 3 weeks since Hurricane Ian came through, and somehow this paper fig survived all the other, I guess, people or tourists that have come through here. Yep, pretty neat looking paper fig. Has a kind of a cool texture to it, and they're rather delicate. So again, kind of neat that it survived. And this is a yellow prickly cockle. It is hinged. There's no critter in there. It's completely fine to collect. So it's just a little hinged prickly cockle. And then this is a broken Florida fighting conch, and I'm kind of trying to find the beauty and even the things that are broken. So I suspect maybe a sea turtle or something kind of chomped on that, but just kind of neat that we can kind of see the inside and that it was broken. Oh, and here, hiding amongst the stuff, the beach stuff, that is a Florida cone. Nice size, nice color. Nice find. Ooh. Oh, another fighting conch that I'm not going to be able to leave at the beach. And I wasn't even looking for these. I was not looking for fighting conchs. They just kept talking to me, and so I just kept picking them up. Here's a spiny jewel box. And what I kind of thought was interesting with this one is you can almost see like the ridges in it, like you can see the growth lines, which do happen with shells. As the food comes in, they can eat, and in leaner times, they don't grow as much. And then here I'm kind of showing you, it's not quite impassable, but if you did decide to book a tour for yourself, you're definitely going to want to wear shoes. I'm trying out a new pair of beach shoes, and if I determine that they are good ones, I will pass that information along. But if you're going to come on a tour like this, definitely bring your beach shoes. And if you're going to come soon, bring the bug spray too, because it was awful. All right, that is an apple murex. A terrific little find. And you'll see again, we have white 0 pen shells. We have all just the white shells. And that's not to say that there wouldn't be, some really fantastic shells here. I was looking for the Junonia. It was not to be for me on this day, but I did get this other lovely pear whelk. So that's nothing to shake a stick at, right? All right, and another moon snail. Oh, very nice. Let's see, is it a false? It looks like it might be one of those false shark eyes. Either way, I'm keeping that fun shell. Okay, a hinged giant Atlantic cockle. Very nice. Those are from the family Cardiidae, because when you hold them like so, it looks like a heart. Very cool. Giant Atlantic cockle. And another one of those bay scallops. They're almost always really kind of that red, pink, or white color. Ooh. Well, that is a nice looking lightning whelk. Nice color. I love when they have like the color on the edge of the opening, the edge of the aperture. Yeah, it's really pretty lightning whelk. Gorgeous. And another. No, look at that. Not a lightning whelk. That is a pear whelk. Again, the opening on the pear whelk is going to be on the right. Opening on the lightning whelk will be on the left. I'll point that out. I'm assuming I'll at least pick up one other lightning whelk at some point. And so here I'm giving you just kind of what the surroundings look like. So behind me is mangroves. And then in front of me, you have more of these other trees that have expired in the past. Some of the mangroves did get a little beat up, but for the most part, Kais looks the same to me. And then just kind of, again, looking at the view, there's another one of those big garbage containers up there that I'm sure eventually Carlos will remove. And so here, not, again, not the piles. It's not super thick. So it really just kind of depends the way that the water and the tide pushed everything. But here it is a little bit more room to kind of spread out and walk a little bit. So I think it's a great time for a little beach time. Another apple murex. Great day for the apple murex shells. Lovely apple murex. And then here, just smattering this, that, and the other thing. And this is weird. There it is. I knew it was here somewhere. It's just sitting there. So you have all these fighting conchs, and then there's just this big old alphabet cone just sitting there. So I was pretty happy about that. Alphabet cones are always fantastic to find. Very collectible shell, so very happy. So at this point, I'm like, ooh, maybe I'll find some other ones. Because right about this point, I'm like, yeah, I definitely want to find some more of those cones. And here is a Dosenia. This appears to be an elegant Dosenia. The disc Dosenia looks almost identical, but the elegant Dosenia, you can actually kind of see the ridges in the shell. So I just think they're kind of pretty. Oh, I see it. And it is a shark eye. Yeah, it's okay. It's a little bit beat up. It's really a nice size. And for all intent and purposes, it's got most of the shell. Yeah, for one that big, I'll make an exception. I know it's a little chewed up, but I'm going to go ahead and keep that. Awesome. All right, we got another Florida cone. Fantastic little find. And then, okay, so I came down here to wash out the inside of this shell, and I saw this awesome Gaudinautica. So it's that white, see that white thing with the like brown circle? And I knew the color was going to be fantastic. Yeah. So that's another one of those colorful moon snails. I had mentioned earlier, this island does have a lot of them. So it's always nice, especially when you find one that's got nice rich color in it. So I did going too fast here. So that's the lightning whelk. Found that as a bonus, and then originally I was washing off that Florida fighting conch. So beach is opening up a little bit again. Looks like I'm kind of walking around in the, what I like to call the muck. It's not really sand. Some of it gets pretty dense and slimy, but hey, if you're gonna be finding alphabet cones like this, I guess the slimy place is the place to be. So that's another one. It's not in pristine condition, but still a nice find, a nice alphabet cone. And a lettered olive. Yep, giving it the shine test. I guess it passed. Terrific. So another lovely lettered olive. And a banded tulip. We got so many good ones. I bet you I'm not going to keep that. Yep. Oh, well, what do we have here? Another alphabet cone. Yeah, that I can get on board with. Yeah, we're definitely going to hold on to that. So yet another really great alphabet cone. Awesome. And this, I'm like, ooh, is it going to be good? Why? Yes, it is. So that is a true tulip. Not to be confused with the banded tulip. I have a very hard time finding true tulips, so that's a really great find for me. And it's a nice size, too. So we'll just compare the two. On the left, we have the banded tulip. On the right, we have the true tulip. Obviously, the banded tulip has those very distinct bands, where the true tulip actually has like a texture to it. The banded tulip is a little bit more on the smooth side. I know the shape is almost identical, but there are very small little differences between the two. All right, what am I hunting down now? Oh, yeah. So usually the juveniles, oh, and it's still shiny. Now the juveniles will have that zigzag to it, but not the adults. So I was pretty jazzed about this fighting conch. I know that they're very common, but you're not going to convince me that they're not awesome. You're not going to do it. I just really, really like those Florida fighting conch shells. Oh, and a calico clam. So Southwest Florida does have a couple of very fancy clam shells too, and that is one of them. And then we also have a top snail. Fun, right? A little triangle looking shell. So that is a top snail. Uh-oh, that is garbage. So somebody lost their boat. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take that off the island. Myself, I can totally manage carrying that off. Oh, I'm going to carry this off too. So that is a common nutmeg. Very nice. A lovely little shell. A couple barnacles, and that's okay. Oh, and I do love a good spiky, spiny jewel box. Especially if you've got a little bit of that purple on the inside. So yeah, that's a terrific find. The spikier, the better. Look at that. And it's almost like black. Isn't that awesome? So that's another one of those fighting conchs. See? They come in so many different patterns and colors. One's knobless and they have knobs, and I just really like them. Okay, this is hiding. All right. So that is a Florida horse conch, a decent size. I mean, it's not one of the giant ones, but still, for me, it's actually a pretty good size Florida conch. And here I'm just kind of establishing where I am. I'm not on top of the water. I'm not too far back. And I kind of found this little shell pile. And since the bugs, oh my gosh, they were so bad. And I couldn't stop. I felt like I was getting eaten alive. So that first shell I just picked up, that was a pear whelk. Here we have a nutmeg. So I was able to stop and, kind of look at a pile, because prior to this, the bugs were so bad. And there is another, that's a juvenile fighting conch, and some pieces. And then this is a ponderous arc, very, very common. Don't really find them hinged that much, and there were a lot of them. So I figured while I have the opportunity, I might as well grab a couple of those hinged ponderous arcs while I'm here. Might as well make hay while the sun is shining, right? And so we have, right, that is an apple murex. It looks a little bit fossilized. Oh, another nutmeg. Fantastic. I can only imagine what this place would have looked like right after the storm. But it was a really bad storm. I don't know that too many people were thinking about shelling. I was not. Okay, that is a gaudy nautica. Another colorful moon snail. So it took me a full 2 weeks and change to really kind of get myself out here. But like I said earlier, life does go on. What else we got here? Another little lightning whelk. Okay, here's a crown conch. That also looks a little bit on the fossilized side. And here we have a jingle, also called the baby's foot. So that little kind of like other white thing on the inside looks a little bit like a baby's foot. Which I learned from a viewer, by the way. So you guys, I know you're always saying that I teach you things. You guys teach me things too also sometimes. So I thank you for that. That is a little cross-barred Venus clam. Just a wee little one. Oh, that's like a whopper of a shark eye. Oh, and it's that weird white color. You can see it's a little bit wet. So it's not getting any color. Like that white is not going to come off. Weird, but still really cool. And this is a false angel wing. And I honestly kind of saw it as a sign, like the island was saying, it's okay. Here's a couple little angel wings for you. Kind of like a little sign from the universe that everything's going to be okay. Because the whole time I was out here. All right, I'm going to see if I can get through this without crying. I was thinking about Fort Myers Beach and Sanibel and how absolutely flattened, devastated the people's homes, the businesses, that whole area was. And I needed to support people. I needed to come out and do something. So I know this might just seem like, yeah, you're going shelling, but I needed to support Carlos and Allie from Nautical Life and SWFL Shell Guide, because their businesses need to survive. I want to make sure that anyone who wants to come and do things like this in the future are going to be able to. So it felt like I did need to kind of come out. And then this was another sign. I felt, I don't know what kind of birds they are. They looked like they might have been yellow palm warblers. I'm not really a bird person, but they were cute little yellow birds, and there was 2 of them. And again, just seeing life, it just kind of meant like rebirth, and life goes on, once again. It was a nice day. It was 82 degrees out. Not too hot, not too cold. Just a fine day to be out and about. And I did talk about supporting Allie and Carlos, so I do have a little message from the beach. Okay, so that is from me.
What?
And one of my viewers, Alex, had a birthday, and he sent me birthday money. And so I'm choosing to support you and Carlos
Oh
with that
my-
money. So that's
Oh my goodness.
that's part of what's in that envelope.
Oh,
okay.
you're so sweet. Oh my gosh.
So,
Oh, girl.
and you guys know how good it feels to support people. So it felt good. It felt good to go out and support Allie and Carlos. And I'm going to be supporting as many companies and businesses as I can when I find them. And I felt like the universe said, hey, I think you're on the right track. Have this Rose Murex. So I got a Rose Murex out of all that. So I was pretty happy. I did kind of feel like that was yet another sign. Everything's going to be okay. So that is a beautiful Rose Murex. I'll add that to my other. I think at this point I only have like maybe 5. So they're pretty rare. Pretty exciting to get another sign from the universe and another Rose Murex. So I was on a tour with some other people, and 2 of the other couples were actually they were supposed to be in Sanibel, and so obviously they could not be, so they chose to stay in other areas. I think one of them was in Marco, and probably they both were in Naples and the Marco area, and then they decided to go on a shell tour, which I highly think you should. It is a lot of fun. We will rebuild. We will come back. Things will be okay. So I think as much normal things as you can do, I think it's important. And this lady from Texas was not playing. She had 2 full shell bags. Good for her. So yeah, she was gonna use a lot of bleach to clean them up is what she was gonna do. I'll tell you what. So this was a strange trip for me. I was melancholy in one respect, but in another respect, I did feel like I needed to do something normal, like something that I would normally do. So that part really kind of felt good. As far as the garbage, I didn't do too much. I took 2.1 ounces off, but I'm keeping track. And so far I've taken over 5 pounds of garbage. I'm not going to be competing with Carlos. He would beat me every single time, but I still feel every little bit helps. Every little bit counts. So I did pick up quite a few of those fighting conchs, and come on, aren't they? Oh, look how beautiful they are. Oh, the colors, the patterns, I think they're gorgeous. And we did get 1 paper fig, a couple of those pear whelks, and the top snails, the common nutmegs, the gaudy nauticas, the shark eyes, the dosinias, the jingles, and the giant Atlantic cockles. We have that yellow cockle, the bay scallops, the sunray Venus clam, 2 of the top snails, an operculum. We got a whole bunch of those lightning whelks. Very, very cool. And that one little prickly cockle. The Florida conchs were nice. The spiny jewel boxes, the apple murex, the lace murex, the banded tulips, and the poor, everything went in bleach, and I just didn't think about it, and so I did kind of wreck my hinged ponderous arcs, but that's okay. I'll just put them with the white shells. And then kind of my favorites were all those Florida cones, which was cool. Of course, the alphabet cones, the 1 true tulip, and then my signs from the universe, my little angel wings and my Rose Murex. So it was really nice. I do recommend if you're in the area, you come and do that. Carlos and Allie are fantastic. I cannot say enough good things about them. I'll leave all the information you would need to book a tour with them down in the description box below. So Patreons, I picked up a couple more of you this week. I need to reach out to you. I know, I'm sorry, I'm a little behind in certain things, and I thank you in advance for your patience. I do have, and I know I'm talking about it, some videos that I shot before the hurricane. So I probably will start editing those and get those out. So in the meantime, you guys have a fantastic week, and hopefully I will see you again next Sunday.